Well, as we've said, the irony yesterday of Tory whānau, fresh from a crisis meeting with her councillors the day before, goes in to see Simeon Brown, says, it was just a cup of tea and a chat, everything's fine. She comes out and bang, we've got an instant waterway in Vivian Street yesterday afternoon that clogged up traffic all over town, and just so symbolic of the problems the city is facing. Clem Griffiths, long-time hospo restaurateur, was on earlier on the program. So what the hell is going on and where are we at? We are joined now by Wellington City Councillor Nicola Young. Nicola, thanks for joining us again.
Good morning, Sean.
Do I believe the Mayor when she says you had a great meeting the other day and it's all under control?
Well, I think the Minister was obviously being cautious and guarded, but I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know what was said. But the Mayor certainly came back very upbeat about the future for the Council, so let's hope that's the case.
Oh, hang on. But you had the meeting the day before, right? The emergency meeting that wasn't an emergency meeting of all the councillors, right?
Correct.
Was that a wonderful coming together of minds and you all sung Kumbaya and said, we've got a plan?
Well, I've never sung Kumbaya in my life, but it was a very harmonious meeting because I think for the first time all councillors realise we have to start cutting our expenditure. We're spending far too much money and we're racking up far too much debt.
Okay, so Nicola, are you now all coming together under the threat of the council being disbanded or neutered?
No, I wouldn't say it's quite like that. I would say we had a harmonious meeting where we agreed we had to make spending cuts. But now that's where the fun begins because the Mayor is determined to go ahead with the Golden Mile, 139 million, of which we pay half and NZTA pays the other half, which is a project that most Wellingtonians, I believe, don't want, judging by the outcry we're getting. So when we come to decide where the cuts are going to be, and we don't even know how much we have to cut, because at one stage we were told this whole thing was fiscally neutral. Then it was going to be a 200 million black hole, then 400 million, then 600 million. The Mayor said, well, let's work on 500 million. I said, well, what is this based on? And I was told by one councillor, this is an art, it's not a science. Well, money is not an art, unless you're Banksy, because we have to start cutting costs, but we need to know
You told us earlier this week, and you did try and walk back during the course of the interview, that the government did have to do everything. Are you saying now it doesn't? You've got this under control or not?
No, it's not under control. I'm saying it's very early days, and I think it's going to be a pretty unpleasant session when we work out what we're going to cut.
Well, when I sat in the traffic yesterday, it didn't feel like early days. It felt like this has been going on forever, and Wellington's just a mess.
That's how it feels, yeah. And I do believe that the government will intervene, and I think it's necessary.
Okay, what do you see? What do you see that intervention potentially being? I suppose some sort of observer would be the least drastic first step.
It's a Crown Observer, and of course they do more than just observe. I think they provide some advice. They're certainly watching what's going on, and they report back to government. And if they're not comfortable, then they can go to more drastic steps. For example, getting a commissioner. But I think that an observer would be a good step for the council because we can't go on like this.
Okay, so what are you hearing about when that might happen?
Well, it's all kept very quiet, but I think if they do something, it'll be in the next, month or so, I think.
Okay, so you are expecting that that is what's going to happen?
I'm surmising.
All right.
I'm not inside the Minister's head.
Yeah. Meantime, just on a very practical level, I mean, what happened in Vivian Street yesterday was just ridiculous. Can you give the people of Wellington any guarantees that such further catastrophic and incredibly disruptive failures aren't going to happen? I mean, it's just ridiculous, Nicola.
Well, Sean, I agree, but I can't give you a guarantee like that. I can't, because I've lost control of it. But I would say, we're putting in 1.8 billion into water, but it's actually not as much as other cities like Pororua, the Hutt and the regional council are putting in. Although we're putting in a lot, we were actually asked to put in a lot more, and that should be our priority. The water infrastructure is the top priority for the city, not things like the Golden Mile.
Oh, no, rainbow crossings, the Golden Mile, cycle lane. Now, And let's get to it. Cycle lanes. Clem Griffiths this morning just gave them an absolute bollocking. Are we going to stop that madness? And can we roll it back? Can Thorndon turn into an operable part of the city again or not?
Well, Thorndon's going to get worse because at the bottom of Tinakori Road, where it intersects with Thorndon Quay, they're going to put in a signalised crossing, and there was a letter sent out yesterday saying that short section of Tinakori Road will be closed for 16 to 24 weeks. That's half a year. And that means people have to go around a different route up through Hobson Street. So you're going to have major trucks going up there. There are 3 major schools there. There are lots of embassies. It's a major access into the city, and they're going to close it off for 16 to 24 weeks. It's crazy. We're crippling the city.